Hey guys, today I wanted to make a quick video talking about the one mechanic in Hellish Quart I think absolutely needs to change. And when I say absolutely needs to change, I mean that if the mechanic is left in its current state, the game cannot be considered balanced for PvP play. The mechanic I'm talking about is the backstep. The backstep appears in the tutorial for Hellish Quart as a way to avoid a low attack that's targeting the leading leg. The player presses the back button, the character throws their leading leg back, and now the player has a choice. Do nothing and simply recover from the backstep animation, or risk a counterattack by pressing 1 or 2 during the backstep animation, countering with a high strike. I like the animation and I enjoy hard reads with hard counters, but what's wrong with backstep? Well, to put it simply, it's exploitable. Currently, backstep is triggered by a low attack from any range, including low attacks that are immediately feinted. Meaning your opponent can be across the map doing his taxes, throw out a low, and if you happen to press back at all, you're now in an incredibly long animation state that cannot be cancelled. Now, if this happens up close, you'll again be thrown into the animation state, except now your opponent can use this to punish you and potentially take the point. And I know what you're thinking, but wait, isn't blocking in this game automatic? While standard guarding in this game is performed automatically, backstep is completely different because it throws you into an entire animation that locks all of your options until the animation is finished. With auto guard, I can still play footsies and choose when I would like to attack, retreat, sidestep, etc. I can also cancel auto guard by using long guard if I don't have faith in the auto guard at that particular moment. So what does the meta look like with the current backstep behavior? Well, to avoid being thrown into an automatic backstep, you have a few options. Choose a character with no backstep. As of now, this only includes Isabella and Gideon. They have no backstep animation and simply guard low against low attacks. Instead of pressing back to retreat, you instead use down back or up back to sidewalk backwards instead. In conjunction with 2, simply never pressing back will also work. Obviously, having your opponent have such control over your character's movement and agency doesn't feel good to play. It also undermines the importance of spacing and promotes a playstyle that simply moves forward and attacks, as the buffer for backstep is incredibly long. Marie suffers from this especially as her trade potential and damage are already relatively low compared to the other characters. Not to mention that, in reality, the backstep counter would not be used very often, as it throws your center of gravity way off. In a real bout, if someone throws their leading leg behind their back leg, that's an easy kill for most experienced fencers. So the backstep being automatic doesn't make sense for gameplay nor realism, and simply must be changed. So, my proposed solution is a simple one. Move the backstep to a specific special input or button. On modern controllers, currently there are already redundant buttons for grab. I would be satisfied if the very risky backstep was moved to one of these buttons or changing the maneuver's input to something like quarter circle back 3. We already have special inputs in the game that utilize quarter circles, so this wouldn't be too complicated of a mechanic to move to another input. Unfortunately, I think this backstep exploit is so strong that it means that realistically, only a few characters can avoid it, leading to the meta converging towards those characters, Isabella and Gideon. But most likely Isabella, as she is already considered one of the strongest characters in normal play. Lastly, I want to talk about why changing the buffer or range that backstep activates is a suboptimal solution. A few people have thrown out these ideas as potential solutions, but in reality, it still takes the same amount of agency away from the player. It doesn't matter if I'm at the perfect distance, or if I hit the back button on the very first frame of my opponent's low attack. I still get thrown into an entire animation that I did not consciously choose to enter, and my opponent dictates when they would allow that to happen. What makes fighting games and fencing in real life so interesting and captivating is player agency. Making a hard read on your opponent and punishing them is an art in and of itself. Attempting to pre-bake that concept into an automatic maneuver using one of the most important movement inputs is simply not ideal. Now, if a player can make this decision consciously, there's nobody to blame for the mistake but the player. My name is Ninjalah, thanks for watching.